So, the case I chose to talk about today for my final is one that, in my opinion, hits many of the aspects we have talked about throughout this course. I'll be pinpointing fortitude and temperance. And with that being said, I'm going to be discussing the case of Jordan Belfort's stock market manipulation and boiler room operation. This case is more commonly known as the Wolf of Wall Street. And to describe the case a little bit, the Stratton Oakmont, um, which was the stockbrokers firm that Jordan Belfort started, began to sell the IPO stocks not basically just not to the public, but within itself, because they began to sell stocks to what they call flippers, who were basically like their friends and who would just immediately sell the stock right back to them. So basically, what they were doing was gaining the trust of their investors and eventually just hyping up the sale and having them buy large amounts of shares. And then they would transfer the money into the Stratton account. They were basically manipulating investors into investing and then stealing their money. This was in no way legal, and Jordan Belfort knew that, but he decided to keep doing what he was doing. So you see, Jordan Belfort was basically a young man that got caught up in drugs, sex, and money, and his thirst for money just kind of led him into this illegal activity. The most significant aspects of ethics, like I mentioned earlier, that this case demonstrates would be fortitude and temperance. So, in my opinion, Jordan Belfort had an excess of fortitude, if I may. It is taught that fortitude presupposes vulnerability because to be brave means to be able to suffer injury. And it also teaches that prudence, the knowledge of the good, and justice for the sake of the good precede fortitude, because without that, without them, there is no fortitude. So you see, Jordan Belfort was aware what he was doing was illegal, but did not act for the sake of the good. It also is stated that fortitude won't allow fear to force a person into evil. However, in this case, it did. Jordan did not fear getting caught or what was happening to the people affected by his acts. All he cared about was making more money. This leads us to temperance. Jordan was acting selfishly, not selflessly, as temperance teaches. His lack of self-control became addicted. He just basically became addicted to drugs, sex, money, and these are all forms of intemperance. Jordan lacked ethics and was stealing money from people who ultimately just trusted him. And he only ended up serving 22 months jail time because he eventually pled guilty and ratted out everybody he knew and everybody he got involved in this huge scheme.